Welcome back to our unboxing series. In today's video, we're going to talk about the special features of the Lansinoh Signature Pro, what's included in the box, how to assemble it, how to use it, and then also some care and cleaning and tips and tricks. And by the way, if you haven't received your breast pump through insurance, please reach out to us at aceleron.com/order and we can help get that process started for you. The special features of this pump, first of all, starts with the fact that you can use it plugged in, or it has a AA battery option, and that's internal right on the back of the motor. And it also has an LCD screen right on the front. The flanges are called ComfortFit flanges, and that just means it has a silicone edge here. It makes it more comfortable on your chest because it has that silicone, and sometimes it can create a better seal on the body as well. The last thing is that Lansinoh includes an extra set of duckbill valves in the kit with the Signature Pro, which is really helpful because that's a part that you're going to be replacing later. Let's go through how to assemble the collection kit for the Lansinoh Signature Pro. So first of all, this is what it will look like when it's all together. So we have a lot of pieces here. We're gonna start bottom to top. The first thing to note is that that bottle is a 5 fluid ounce storage capacity and is a wide neck bottle. When we look at what's going to connect here, we're actually going to jump up to the flange body. So this is just the piece that kind of holds everything together. Right on the bottom of that is a circle here, and that's where your valve is going to go on. Something to note, and as a reminder from what we mentioned earlier, they provide an extra set of valves in your kit, and that's because these need to be replaced pretty frequently. The valves are replaced when they are having any extra stretching or anything like that, any tearing, or if you're losing suction on that side. So pretty important to have an extra set, and Lansinoh automatically gives it to you, which is a really great feature. Once we're here and we have our valve on there, it doesn't need to face in any set direction. And something you might notice is the valves have a little bit of kind of like a grip or an edge there, which makes it really easy to put the valve on and take it off and not have to actually push on the tip of it where you want to be very gentle. When we go to the bottle, it's going to connect right on there, nice and easy. And then we have our diaphragm. So this is what makes this pump a closed system, and it helps keep the tubing clean. There's only one way that this can really sit on here. If you try to do it backwards, it won't sit flush and you'll know you have it wrong. So you can just put that on there with the little legs facing down, and then you have your diaphragm cap, which has an outlet right here where your tubing is going to connect. So that is going to go and face away from this opening here. And that's because that opening is where your breast shield is going to go in. Now that flange that's included in the kit is the 25mm ComfortFit flange with that silicone edge there. So this is what the collection kit looks like all together. Again, that back port is where your tubing is going to connect, and your tubing is a little interesting for this pump in a very good way. It does have a T connector here. So there are 2 short pieces of tubing, and the 2 short pieces of tubing are what are actually going to connect to your collection kit right on the back of that port there. And you do want it to go all the way on. The inside, or the middle part of this T, has a few different features. There's this little toggle piece here. This is how you can go between single or double pumping with the pump. If you're going to double pump, pumping both sides, both pieces are going to be attached, and then you're good to go. But if you're going to single pump, then you can take one piece of short tubing off, and this little T on top is going to attach right in there to block any input of air. Because if you have that open and you want a single pump, it's going to pull in air and you won't have any suction, so that needs to be capped off. The other side of this is a long piece of tubing, and that long piece of tubing has an adapter on the end. This adapter on the end is where your plug is going to, or is where your tubing is going to connect to your pump motor. Now you'll notice on the side of the pump motor that one outlet is just no outline on it, and then one outlet has a purple outline. The one with the purple outline is the side that the tubing goes into. And once you have your tubing in and your collection kit attached, you're all set up and ready to go. The last thing to mention, they do include a couple other things. You do have 2 storage lids for your pump, and then you also have a connector or a Velcro piece, and that's just sort of to keep your tubing or other extra pieces like your plug sort of wrapped up nicely. And they also include a carry bag. The Lansinoh Signature Pro uses two-phase technology to help you with your pumping session. So on the screen, we have the toggle button to go between the two phases, let down and expression phase. We have a plus and a minus to use to change your suction strength. And then we also have the mode button, and that is the mode for your expression. So we'll talk about that in a moment. To start, you're gonna press and hold the power button right at the front. It will automatically turn on in letdown mode. So when you are in letdown mode, you're only here for about the first 1 to 2 minutes or until your milk starts to flow. You have a letdown. The only thing you need to do is change your suction strength between 1 and 8. Now you're gonna try to find your highest suction strength that's comfortable. So start at the lowest level, go up and up and up until it's uncomfortable, and then back down 1. You'll also notice that above that you have the timer, and it will indicate on the screen what phase or mode you're in. Once you've had your letdown, your milk starts to flow, push this toggle button on the left, you'll see those droplets go away, and now we have our different mode options for expression. It will automatically start in mode 2 or style 2, and the differences that you're going to see between these three styles are how the suck is actually pulling. And so it's not just the pace or how fast or slow it is, it's also how long it's going to keep that suction going. So the best thing to do here is to find the one that feels best for your body. So it does include a little bit of trial and error, 1, 2, or 3, whatever feels best for you. And then what you're gonna do after that is change your suction strength again to your highest comfort level. Remember not to put yourself in pain. So something that's really nice about the Signature Pro is it will automatically switch over from that letdown mode to expression mode at 2 minutes. If you have your letdown before then, you can switch it on your own, but it will automatically do it for you, which is great. And to finish a pumping session, all you have to do is press that power button really quickly. Let's get into the cleaning of your parts. First, I want you to know that there are certain parts that you're not going to be cleaning by submerging in water. That includes your pump motors, as well as any adapters or plugs to get the motors working, and your tubing in the Y connector in the adapter. So all pieces of tubing, all of this does not need to be cleaned. If anything is going in the tubing, then you would need to clean it, but because these pumps are closed system, nothing should be getting in there as long as everything's being used correctly. So those parts are not going to be included in our cleaning guidelines. The parts that are included are your collection kit, the nipples that are included, as well as that little disc in the cover, or your lids in your duckbill valves. So when we talk about cleaning, we have a few different things that are recommended. When we're referring to the guidelines, we're actually talking about the CDC guidelines that recommend that the pump collection kit is cleaned after every time you pump. So if you pump twice a day, you're cleaning it twice a day. And then they also recommend sanitizing the pump parts. So when we talk about this, we're gonna go through the cleaning first and then go into sanitizing. Cleaning after each session can be really quick. You have two main options to do that. The first step, no matter what of the two you choose, is to separate your parts, and that includes the duckbill valve and all of the diaphragm and cap in the flange body. So all of this is going to come apart. You're gonna rinse off any excess breast milk that are on any of these pieces with cold water, and then the first option is the sink. If you're washing the parts in the sink, you're gonna get a clean, separate bowl from the rest of your food dishes. Put the parts in some warm, soapy water. They soak for about 5 minutes. Wash them as you normally would, rinse with clear water, and then they air dry. The other option is the dishwasher. Again, fully separate, rinse off any excess breast milk droplets that might be on there, and then they have to go top rack only. And you wanna make sure that even the smaller pieces are staying on that top rack throughout the session of the dishwasher running. And then you're just gonna take them out when it ends so they don't sit in that wet space for any longer and they can air dry. The next recommendation of sanitizing your pump parts, this is at least once a day. Morning, afternoon, or night, whatever works for you. But the recommendation is really important for any babies born prematurely, any babies under 3 months old, or any babies with a sensitive immune system. When we talk about sanitizing, there are quite a few options. The first one is boiling. Boiling is your parts will already be cleaned and separated because you washed them after your last pumping session. You put them in a large stock pot of boiling water, and all of these pieces are able to be boiled for at most 5 minutes. They come out of the boiling water and they air dry really quickly because they were in such hot water. The other options outside of boiling for sterilizing your parts are micro steam bags or a standalone sterilizer, something like that that's on your counter. And with any of those options, you want to make sure you follow the manufacturer guidelines from the micro steam bags or the maker of the sterilizer. And the most important thing is to have the right amount of water in there. If you don't have the right amount of water, it can warp your parts or damage them, and we really don't want that to happen. The reason why Acceleron offers this unboxing series is because we truly care about the journey from prenatal through postpartum for anyone that's pumping, including all the way to returning to work. So we have this series here, but we also have other consults that are virtual through Zoom, one-on-one. They could be about return to work, unboxing your pump live, things like that. And then on our website at Acceleron.com, we also have videos, guides, and other resources available for you.